The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico and Haan and Paige Clarke.
Well, good morning. I'm Paige Clarke, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where this is where we explore a return to a more balanced, a natural, and a wild world.
That's right, to recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms, and I'm Nico and Haan.
And it is a beautiful day. It's probably around 72 degrees in Florida, kind of foggy this morning.
Very
Hope
foggy.
you're having nice weather where you're at. Make sure and subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter. New issue, hot off the press, starts out with an article about intelligence is inherited from the mother, not the father. That's right. It may actually be mitochondrial, and, that's good stuff. And it always has great links so you can stay up to date. Nico and I collate a lot of news, cutting-edge stuff that you need to have to thrive. And so grab that today.
And pick up some Primal Edge, over 310 cell-ready liquid ingredients that are all based on fulvic and humic acids to let the good stuff in and the bad stuff out.
That's right. And we're taking your phone calls. Give us a call if you're up and at it, 877-927-6648.
That's right.
Hey, Nico,
Yes.
I want to remind everybody that, we had a great conversation with David Dubine of Adapt 2030
Yeah, we sure did.
and the company Ankorus, which is the company that's actually kind of bridging traditional finance and cryptocurrencies so that investors can go seamlessly between them. Sounds like maybe our Tom O'Brien is we're going to make that introduction to the CEO of Ankorus, and hopefully we'll have a show there.
That would be great.
But I want to update people, a lot of this rally, Bitcoin hit this morning when I looked at my phone, 15,500.
Pretty cool.
And we've got an article here, but before we go into it, I wanted to let you know that I had a Skype call with David Dubine and another colleague of mine that's has an organization where you can acquire at a wholesale basis gold and silver and get paid in Bitcoin by referring others. And then of course, you can then buy your gold and silver at a Bitcoin. So it kind of bridges that gap because a lot of your physical silver gold bugs have really put their feet in the ground and said, I'm not going to go into this cryptocurrency. Although recently there have been a lot of guys that are kind of jumping ship and saying, hey, I got to get on this train.
Yeah. When the train's going fast through the station, you better get on it.
Well, it's going fast to the station, but what comes up, I'm sure Tom would teach us, does come back as some correction. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a correction. But a lot of this, I believe, has a lot to do with some of that scuttlebutt that happened in South Korea where they were outlawing ICOs, initial coin offerings. So a lot of that money probably has gone into Bitcoin, helping drive it up. We've got the CME futures blasting Bitcoin.
And then people are saying don't buy it at 10,000. Now it's 15,000. It would have been smart to buy it at 10.
There's a lot of FUD, fear of missing out. And but anyways, we've got a great article here, but I thought I'd share with you because I did get to be a fly on a wall with a conversation with...
good. Well, tell us about that.
Yeah, so it was, I had David and I had Adam Demora of mintbuilder.com, and I'm a distributor with that, with Adam. Adam's a friend of mine, and he's launched this company, and it's really a great concept. If you're interested, let me know. I'll send you my link. But however, they were really interested in talking about how Mint Builder is actually a bridge between cryptos and holding physical gold and silver, and kind of bridging just the way Ankorus is a bridge for being able to use the financial instruments. And really, some of these meetings they're having, and guys, we're not quoting, we're not making projections. It could go up, it could go down, but it really sounds like Bitcoin, some people are believing maybe as much as 20,000, maybe 40,000 by the end of next year. So we have to understand this is definitely, give or take some comings and goings, but it is definitely something that's going to change. And David explained to us on the show, if you didn't see it, that we really need these smart contracts to handle food distribution and with the coming weather changes. Because the weather changes, they're going to produce crop shortages, and we're going to see increases in commodities and food prices.
And we're also going to see increased volatility in nations' dollars, different nations, different banks. My concern is, are the banks going to try to get involved? They're going to try to shut it down? Are the banks, because these banks are powerful banks, they control the money of the world, and I'm not sure that they want to see us, other people, controlling it. So I'm kind of
Well, I know, me too. And actually, I was listening when I was in the tub this morning. You know, I get in the tub and I read for an hour because I have to get up and go. But I was listening to Haan, the SGT report, and he has this wonderful woman, and her name escapes me right now, but she's brilliant. And she explains, this is part of their plan. You know, they're getting us all into this. The International Monetary Fund, also known as the real invisible hands that control the money supply, you know, that they're all sitting back figuring out that if we all adapt to digital currency, we are, in fact, creating a digital footprint that's going to make it even easier to collect taxes and so forth, because that's ultimately their goal.
Well, we certainly live in a digital world, and I mean, I don't carry much cash around. I use my credit card for everything, and that's modern living.
That's the whole point. Even in the fiat currency world of the dollar, we're still living in a digital world already.
No doubt about it.
And then with the blockchain, I don't know that the government's going to be able to catch all the blockchain, but they're certainly going to find a way to capture part of it. I think it's possible that governments are going to come out with their own, like, Fed coin, which will have more of a centralized distribution. They'll have more control. Some people will jump on that because it's sanctioned by the U.S. government.
Yeah, but right now, of course, we have the private banks, which is called the Federal Reserve, and the country is buying it off the Federal Reserve. So if the country has the bitcoins and not the federal bank,
they don't like it. No, they're definitely upset. I mean, as you know, Jamie Dimon, you know, was very outspoken against Bitcoin, although I saw something in my news feed that they're kind of coming another way, you know, coming around or saying some things about Bitcoin. But do keep in mind, even though they've been warning against, in the back, they're the largest buyers of it. So, you know, they're speaking out of both sides of their mouth.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys in the chat room
think? I think it's a power struggle that I see coming.
Well,
I'm not sure.
I'm going to be distributed. You know, with what I have to mess around with, I am enjoying investing in cryptocurrencies and some of the investment vehicles. I'm not putting all my eggs in the carton. I've always been a fan of precious metals. I do think they are real money. I think despite their manipulation, that it's going to be something that you're going to want to have. And, you know, right now you got to make some cash while we're in this. But,
that's for sure.
But let me just see if there's a couple other things I wanted to share with you. Gosh, it's hard to read my writing. But really, in reality, there's a big change going on here. And any way that you can get a part of these growing assets, don't forsake your gold and silver holdings. Don't forsake what you're doing in the financial markets. But
use this as something extra.
Yeah, let's hope we can get Tom and John Cruz of Ankorus together on a show and talk about how the new coming Bitcoin futures and the bridge that Ankorus is providing could be something you're interested in.
That's for sure. And pick up the Health Signals newsletter, brand new issue here, two issues a month for $10 a month. It's a bargain, folks. So go and get that and get some Primal Edge. We'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And welcome back to the show. You know, Paige, you sent me this article, How Wine Bricks Saved the U.S. Wine Industry During Prohibition. And I thought this was a nice little segue from Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is a type of currency. This isn't really currency, but it's a way around.
Well, it's kind of
the
how
industry.
resilient we were during the Prohibition periods, and it's kind of an interesting thing. So when Prohibition finally went into effect, January 16th, 1920, those who owned American vineyards for the sole purpose of turning their grapes into wine faced a dilemma. Tear up the vines and plant something else, or try and find a way to still make a profit from the grapes with the hope that the ban on booze didn't last very long. I never heard this story, and my family sent this. You know, as you know,
it's
we've got
really
Joseph
good.
Sellers.
So the problem was, if the winemakers tore up their vines, then to replant it is a problem. Because
it'd take years.
It takes years, probably about
Right.
10 years for those plants to be viable. That's why they graft a lot of things. But if you're starting with nothing, it takes 10 years, so that's a real problem. So some of the owners didn't risk it, and as soon as Prohibition passed, they tore up their vineyards and planted
orchards.
maybe some kind of citrus or something like
Citrus,
that.
right.
But the ones who didn't came up with an ingenious way.
They sure did. I never heard this story. They decided, but those winemakers that decided instead to stick it out came up with an ingenious way to sell their grapes and still legally make wine, and they became very rich in the process. And some of the very family vineyards that you've heard of, this is kind of how they had their start, because the U.S. stipulated that grapes could be grown if and only if those grapes were used for non-alcoholic consumption.
Right.
And if it was determined that someone was using these grapes for alcoholic consumption to make booze, the vineyard owner who sold the grapes could in fact be liable.
Yeah, so they invented this little brick of grapes, and what happens is when the brick comes home, then you can turn the grapes into wine by doing the fermenting.
That's
at home.
right, and it's kind of a sleight of hand how they handled it. A wine brick was a. Can you show a picture of that brick line?
I think so.
It was a brick of concentrated grape juice, which was completely legal to produce, that consumers could dissolve in water and ferment in order to make their own wine. But not every consumer knew how to make their wine, Nico. So how did they know what to do? I love this. The instructions were printed directly on the packaging, but these instructions were masked as a warning of what not to do with the product. An ingenious way to get around the law. So they would say, add this brick to some water. Do not let it sit for 21 days or it will turn into wine.
And you can't have that. You don't want that. You didn't buy it for that. You just wanted grape juice, right?
That's right. So if you were, this is exactly how, and there were millions of these sold, and they even had some flavors such as Burgundy, Claret, and Riesling. And the result of these wine bricks was that many people, including the famous Beringer vineyards, became incredibly rich during this time period. And the demand increased by 1924. The price per ton was a shocking $375, a 3,800% increase over the pre-British price tag of only $9.50. The Mondavi family Caesar Mondavi moved his whole family from Minnesota, and they all took part of this shift. So again, I think this kind of illustrates that there's often paradigm shifts, and there's often a tragedy that
There's an ad there for the wine glow. I guess you get a glow from it, that's for sure.
For home use only. It's
what
kind
I
of
think
like
is
raw
interesting,
milk for pet use only.
Paige, is that human beings always are ingenious in finding ways around, and resilient, like you said. Yes.
And it's, many times something that looks like it's a tragedy is often the opportunity. Sometimes when we see things going on with these changes in currencies and investments, this can be the opportunity. A downturn in the economy can be an upturn for those who have positioned themselves to take advantage of something different.
Yeah, it reminds me of the marijuana in Colorado where people are dealing with cash because it's illegal for the banks to get involved. So going around it, all these people who have all this cash with these dispensaries around Colorado are buying land.
That's right.
And maybe bitcoins, who knows?
Yeah, and maybe figuring out a way to get different substances around. Yeah, you're exactly right. This way to move the wine business, and it grew. And obviously, those people that didn't cut down their vines, their 10-year-old vines, and sacrifice them for oranges, they're the ones that came out on top.
Yeah, I like what it says here. The note would continue with a warning instructing you not to leave that jug that you just put the grapes in for 21 days, otherwise it'll turn into wine. Warning. I love it.
I love it.
This is great.
And so I want to thank Nicole at Joseph Sellers Family Vineyards. My son's father and his wife's vineyard.
Wine.
And you had a nice time out there. If you go to Napa.
I still have 2 bottles of the Pinot and a few bottles of the Cabernet there, and just fantastic wine. I encourage everybody to go see Joseph.
You can become a club member. They're only carried in a few select fine establishments. Otherwise, it's purely a club-based thing. Let them know Paige and Nico sent you.
So the result of this brick was also high-grade salesmen wanted. Here's an ad that I'm showing in the telestrator for the Hustler guaranteed selling Vino Sano grape bricks, wine bricks, orange bricks. Each brick equals a gallon of juice, retailing for $1.25, allowing 100% profit and more. So here you can advertise all this stuff.
$1.25. How about that?
Yeah.
And people were
sold in all flavors, lemon, etc. Take orders, give service, build a route. Your prospects, every home, every hospital, every physician, road stand, barbecue place, auto camp. I guess that must be a garage, grocer, druggist, soft
drink, soda. I think that's interesting. Hospital and physician. That's kind of like, the physician's choice was Camel cigarettes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or Marlboro or something. Yeah, no, I guess that was the cowboy. So very interesting things, and we have another article here about the maps of different types of drinking.
Oh, I thought this was cool too. The states that drink the most wine. Perhaps you pull it up, and I'll give us some.
Yeah.
It really looks like. We're one of the heavier wine consumers here in Florida, California,
average.
Nevada. And
this is shocking here. This is part of like
Idaho.
the Wyoming.
No, that's Idaho.
Idaho?
Idaho
Okay.
is the number one. I wonder why. Is that because there's all the celebrities that own their ranches out there?
I don't know. I have no clue. And also the East is 3 and 4 here. And I think Delaware, I guess, 5. That would be around Washington, of course.
That's exactly.
That should be number 1, I would
Yeah,
think.
and then kind of interesting now you see the states that drink the most beer. Where's that? Is that Montana? Is that number 2?
Let's go down that one. Yeah, that's the North Dakota. Would be.
North Dakota, okay.
Be number 2, and Maine, I guess. Is that Maine up there, or New Hampshire?
Geez, that you catching me off guard on my on my geography. And then finally, you've got a picture of the states that drink the most spirits, with Nevada being number 1, or number 5 actually, but really again up in the Northeast.
Northeast people are drinking heavy, I'm telling you.
Yeah, interesting
I guess
stuff.
that's Maryland there. Yeah.
So just in case you needed to know, guys, we thought that was fun. I want to go back real quick just to kind of expound on this, because I'm going to do a little more research. I want to share some ideas with you. But, at David Dubine from Adapt 2030, who we had on the show last week, and we just love him, at his website, oilseedcrops.org, in addition, and we're going to have him on the show again, he tells us what are some of the crops that are very sustainable, things that you might want to use to increase yields for food, what people are using. And we're going to touch on that a little bit, and we'll be right back. We're going to take a short break, pick up some of our Primal Edge daily nutrition, get the good stuff in, bad stuff out through fulvic humic acid, the miracle molecule. It's good stuff. We made it just for you.
We'll be right back.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle. David Dubine at his oilseedcrops.org explains to us, he kind of goes through a lot of the foodstuffs and agricultural products that are going to produce healthier foods, more sustainable foods.
Right.
And one of the things I saw, and it caught my eye because I'm going to come back to it, is basalt rock, or the dust from volcanoes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what we've also learned from David Dubine is that in a time of global change, where we have the global, the grand solar minimum, we're going to see an increase in volcanism. We're going to see volcanoes in places. But that makes me realize that what we've found is that the longest lived people are the people that live around volcanic soils.
Yeah, isn't that
The
interesting?
people in Iceland, I was reading this article, made me want to buy the product. I tried to contact them and find out if I could buy it wholesale, but I'm going to buy it retail. I can't remember the name of the product, but it's a product that's using volcanic
Yeah, and what it has
ingredients.
to do with is the nutrients in the soil, which pass on to the food, and the food is what they're eating.
Right,
And-
because our food is not grown in nutrient-rich.
That's right,
That's why
and-
we have the primal edge.
Yeah, and if you look at what they're eating in Iceland, if you've ever seen some of the shows, and Andrew Zimmer or some of the other shows, when they go to Iceland, they eat a lot of cheese, a lot of milk products, the number 2 type of cows they have over there, and they have a lot of sheep and goats there too. And all these animals are eating from that beautiful soil.
That's right, and you're getting all that stuff. So I just wanted to make the point. The other thing is many of you all have heard us talking about my Premier Pink Salt, my favorite salt.
Yeah.
And why do I like Premier Pink Salt even over Himalayan? Okay, even though that comes from an ancient seabed, well, the pink salt comes from, Hawaiian sea salt, which is a volcanic
Right,
rich country, and actually has the volcanic dust in it.
Yeah.
So you're getting this super nutrient rich thing. So I just wanted to make the point. I think we see, it's a source of natural nutrients for plants as well as the animals. And these are things that you can use as natural fertilizers in your gardens. You can order this basalt rock dust. So I want you to realize this has a great
These are all the
micronutrient as you're starting to grow some of your own food. We're going to have, when we have David back on, we're going to find out some of the great natural foods that we can all grow or that we can store and have so that we can be healthier.
And this is one of the reasons we use fulvic and humic acid in our product, Primal Edge. And I had somebody write me the other day an email and ask me who was the manufacturer of this. Well, this is a private lab in the United States. We're going to reveal it. We have a contract with these people, and they deal with a lot of other people. They're giving us a really good deal on this, so it's going to remain anonymous. But be assured that it's a lab that
It's an FDA certified laboratory.
Definitely, yeah. So,
Yeah, very good. So now let's go to, I want to switch gears a little bit, Nico, and talk a little bit about one of my favorite vitamins, and the fat-soluble vitamin K. And this is an article that was in LifeSpy by Dr. John Douillard. He is one of the leading Ayurvedic practitioners. And he explains that vitamin K deficiency can compromise bone and arterial health. We've talked about this quite a bit. I like to ask people, where are you getting your vitamins A, D, E, and K? And what those all have in common is they're fat-soluble nutrients, so they need fats. So if you're eating a low-fat diet, you're not going to be able to absorb these.
Right.
And the interesting thing is that these fat-soluble nutrients are also activators for some of the other minerals that are in the rich soil. But vitamin K may be known for, a lot of people think of K1, which is used for blood clotting in times of injury. But it also
K2.
plays a major role in bone health and works closely with the incredible important mineral calcium. And but vitamin K2, the fat-soluble form, is really what we're wanting to see that you guys are getting in your diet.
It says populations with the highest amount of vitamin K2 here have been shown to have better bone health in populations that have less K2. And this study was a 2014 study, suggests that the intake of vitamin K greatly supported bone and heart health and longevity.
And let me explain why.
Okay.
Because vitamin K2 tells the calcium where to go. It tells the calcium, hey, stay in the bones. We need you here. Stay there. Don't come out here and clog up our aorta or give us cataracts or give us tiny, arthritis in our joints because you don't know where to put the calcium. The blood system wants to maintain the proper balance. And many times the calcium that people are absorbing are not. They're taking, cheap supplements that have rock-based calcium. And the body doesn't eat rocks. We don't eat rocks. We eat animals that eat soil that has been
Right. Another thing, too, to think
chemically
about,
transmuted.
talking about this grand solar minimum, David Devine, now, the incidence of disease that attacks your bones, like rickets and things like that, appeared during grand solar minimums. They appeared in the 1800s. They appeared in the 1600s. So these types of things are going to be more prevalent as the sun goes into hibernation.
Sun's going to go into hibernation. We're going to have more volcanism, so we're going to have cloudier skies.
That's right.
I think we all kind of have this vision, even though there's no camera pictures of the Middle Ages, but the paintings for the paintings.
Well, they call it the dark.
The artwork shows very
dark
cloudy
age.
skies,
Yeah.
you know, because there was a lot of volcanic ash, and it was cooler. So,
Yeah, so the grand solar minimum makes earthquakes and volcanism a lot more prevalent, and putting all that ash and disturbances in the sky creates a layer that you would think protects the Earth, but actually what it does, it lets the sunshine bounce right back into space, and hence we start cooling. And then when the crops start going, then we have all kinds of health problems. So we're going to get ahead of this.
and we have population problems because, like we said, you know, we see people on Black Friday beating each other up over a cheap telephone or TV. What do you think is going to happen when perhaps foods
food,
you have problems? So, you know, getting back to this article, just to summarize this point a little bit, I just want you to visualize, without adequate amounts of this vitamin, the vitamin K2,
Right.
the same vitamin that Dr. Weston A. Price in his research didn't even know it was called K2. He called it the activator, or activator X. Well,
Yeah.
what we now know is it's the vitamin generated in the guts of cows that eat rapidly growing grass. That's what activator X was. That's what we've got here. And, you know, there's great sources of it naturally. I really, you know...
And what really sinks in for me is that human beings had a great way of getting this vitamin K2 because of the fermentation of natto, you know, of soybeans.
which is very nasty tasting
Very
stuff.
nasty tasting, but they know they needed it. Somehow these ancient people knew that because we're not eating the animal meat anymore and it's very scarce, now we have these food extenders like the rice and the soy, but by fermenting them, we still get that K2.
Right, the fermented soy is the only way. You know, we always say not regular soy, but I prefer our sources, which are in egg yolks, in grass-fed butter,
course, yeah.
in grass-fed meat.
But when those things are not available and you've only got a bag of rice
Right.
or a bag of
You
soy,
have to be
then you've got a way to do
entrepreneurial.
that. Yeah. So.
I mean, we've also got your fermented cheeses.
Right.
You know, a lot of my clients that I coach kind of, you know, smile when I say, well, if you're going to have your wine, make sure you have your cheese to keep your arteries clear. And they think that's
Yeah.
a oxymoron. But I
And-
explain to them that Gouda, thank
Yeah.
you, Holland, is
Yes.
a very
And Iceland
high.
is another place that has invented all kinds of different kinds of cheeses, and all they have cheeses that are almost liquid, ones that are crunchy, you know, and all these are fermented to get that K2 in there. It's ingenious how these people knew without the scientists that they needed this. Somehow they knew this.
One of my other favorite forms of vitamin K2 is Walkabout emu oil. I know they handle the best emu oil, best breeds. The emu on its fat pack carries a lot of this really precious vitamin K2. Actually, it's
And
a
as
great
the
fat.
American buffalo with that hump, that pink.
That's
hump.
what it was, the
Yeah.
pink hump.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, it's just
Pink
so cool.
inside.
So just, guys, remember, without vitamin K2, the calcium doesn't know where to go. So here,
And we know where to go. We're going on a break.
yeah, we're going on a break, but we'll be right back to tell you where to go with your health.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Al is saying something in the chat or in the...
He says it has been said that vitamins that can be overdosed are vitamins A, B3, B6, E, K, and iron. Okay, so folks, I want to preface this again. Anytime you're supplementing in an isolated form or a synthetic coal tar, pharmaceutical-based product, you run the risk. A lot of those tests that try to scare people away from vitamin E, for example, were all done on a synthetic, junky form of vitamin E. If you're listening to our show, you're not going to get stuff from junky sources. Right. And we always preface it with, where's the best food sources for all of these things? You know, your vitamin A, it's cod liver oil and liver and grass-fed butter. You know, your B vitamins, it's beef. I'm sorry. And vitamin E. You know, the vitamin K, we just told you, it's natto, it's grass-fed items. We're telling you how to get it from your food, and then we also only recommend sources that we know where the sources are of these. If you're using once live source nutrition or you're actually eating the foods, you're not going to have those problems. And so, I mean, don't get scared away from vitamins. I mean, when people say to me, oh, I could overdose on their vitamins, but they're reading off their 5 prescriptions, I'm like, really what you should do is get a book called Drug Muggers by America's favorite pharmacist, Susie Cohen, and find out what vitamins and nutrients you're depleted because you're on pharmaceutical drugs.
Yeah. So we were talking about the bone health.
And building stronger bones.
Building stronger bones. Another way to do that is through vibration therapy, whole body vibration therapy. And of course, vibration plates are good ones. I've got the one from Bulletproof Guy. Real nice plate. It has 1 speed.
Wakes up all your cells.
Yeah, it really does, and it's a great little thing, and it takes a little time. So the new type of exercise programs that we're doing these days are very short. They're high intensity usually, and a vibration plate is kind of like that. You get on there, it's high intensity. You have to kind of get used to it in the beginning, but it's a great therapy, and it's something. And I was thinking this too, that you know, when I do my cold plunges and that, I try to get myself to shiver a little bit when I hit that cold water. Although the water here is 68 degrees,
it's hard to
there's
get
still that 35 degree. Like when I'm in the sauna, my body really heats up to maybe 98, 99, 100. And when I'm plunging in the 68 degrees, that's a nice 30-degree drop. And that's the key, is that drop.
Yes.
So your body gets that shock and everything starts to work. And they say your immune system just gets boosted. So vibration machine is kind of like that, where it boosts your cells are vibrating. They're going, okay, we need to do something here. And they start working. So this wakes up the body. It's a great technology. It's rather recent, and I'm sure most gyms now have a vibration machine.
Right. It's easy to put one in your home, and research shows that it improves the bone strength, the bone mineral density, and the bone formation. Yeah. And I do know that you want to do a little more research on this, because there's certain directions that the vibration goes in that is more beneficial to bone growth, where other ones are more the movement and the frequency is more beneficial to lymphatic movement.
Right.
But then again, I think these things all go together. I think increasing circulation of both our blood and increasing the circulation of our lymph is going to mean more nutrient exchange.
Right.
Right?
That's the key
so,
right there.
So we're getting more nutrient exchange, so of course that's going to increase the bone bone health.
And that predisposes that you're on a nice nutrition diet. In other words, you're doing what Paige and I talk about, eating this great food that we have. And when you do that and you use some of these techniques, then that's when it really works. If you're eating like Donald Trump, a couple of Big Macs and a shake with some fries, or maybe some fish sandwiches to rinse it down, you're not going to be a healthy person.
That's right.
No matter how much vibration, no matter how you're going to take those cold plunges.
It's a quantum move. You got to be doing all these things, and that's
right.
what I'm learning from the Jack Cruz group.
Lifestyle.
It's not all about the food. The food is important, but it's about doing these other things. I mean, you can eat healthy food, but if you're not getting some sunshine, if you're not getting the movement, you're not getting the circadian rhythm, if you're in a circadian mismatch. But getting back to the vibration therapy, just give you some tips here, or some evidence. In one study, researchers divided 46 women into 3 groups, and 2 groups got 20 minutes of whole vibration therapy, either 1 or 3 times a week. The third group got sham treatments. After 8 weeks, the group getting the whole body vibration 3 times a week had 35% less bone breakdown than the third group. So these things matter. And I'm just going to tell you, too, bone growth is really strength training and weight-bearing exercise, jumping. You know, Dr. Eric Berg has this big, like, piece of a log. It looks like a stump in his backyard. I think it is a stump.
Okay.
I don't have a stump in my yard, but I wanted to find, like, a big piece of a, you know, put it outside, and just doing that jump up to that spot.
yeah.
I guess you could do it with those stackable platforms, you know.
Yeah, you definitely can. I mean, I see some incredible people like this high from the ground. It's
and
amazing.
that is incredible for our bone building because we're using those large
and also
muscle
it's great
groups.
for your whole cardiovascular system, everything. And it says here too, the rapid vibrations stimulate receptors in the muscles and tendons. They cause your muscles to contract and relax from 30 to 50 times per second.
Well, Dr. Tennant has taught us that the muscles are actually piezoelectric generators for our body.
Yeah.
What is piezoelectric? Light and energy and electricity.
And I remember when I first started playing guitar, they used to have these little buttons you put on the guitar, and it was called a piezo, and it was taking the vibrations, not the sound. But it was a technology in the 70s and 80s when I started playing out. We needed, instead of miking it, we tried to use these types of things to get the sound in there. So
I want to finish up with how you build strong bones at home, guys, because this is the time. We're coming into the winter. You can still get your vitamin D. And, guys, it's not going to hurt you if you're a little cold out in the sunshine. Take off those clothes. I don't care how cold it is. You only need to be out there a few minutes.
That's right.
And do it daily so that you can stimulate those cells, because there's nothing better in terms of vitamin D than you get from the sun. We also, you know, you could have a small amount of cod liver oil. You can have fish, you know, and seafood are going to have that source. So soak up that sun, and this, because the vitamin D really directs how much of that calcium you store in your bones, and too little can lead to thin and brittle bones. So we like the sunshine the best. And,
and they say, of course, the second thing is making bones strong with K2, which we talked about that. It's a little-known vitamin that regulates calcium and directly into your bones.
That's right. And, you know, good other sources of vitamin K2 include egg yolks, grass-fed organ meats. Did you hear what we said? Organ meats, really. Pastured raw milk, and the traditional cultured cheeses like Emmenthal and Jarlsberg.
Yeah, and protect your bones with
Gouda.
potassium. Most people miss this important bone mineral. It helps neutralize acids that can eat away at the bones and deplete your calcium stores.
So where do you could get potassium, folks? Here are some of our favorite potassium-rich foods: kelp and seaweed, Swiss chard. Swiss chard is a great vegetable. If you go into the grocery store and you see the Swiss chard, it's green leaves with red veins through it. Using the doctrine of signatures, you can see that it's telling you this is good for your bloodstream, because it's going to help, you know, give you that potassium that's going to keep the blood healthy. Winter squash right now, wild-caught salmon, and the avocado actually has a tremendous amount of potassium. Coconut water, bananas, and cantaloupe.
Yeah.
But your greens, you know, leafy greens are also going to be, all of your leafy greens are going to help you keep that potassium
And
rich.
this time of year, too, this is where the squash and all these things, avocados.
I'll tell you one of my favorite potassiums that I order something that Jordan Rubin created called Swear Aviv, and it's cultured whey.
Oh.
And as you know, Hippocrates, the way he cured people was he put them on cultured whey. Why? Because in this 8-ounce bottle, there's 500 milligrams of potassium.
Okay, we'll be right back.
News you can use, guys.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Welcome back. You know, everyone's buying new iPhones.
Yeah.
And
Not
boy,
me.
these things have gotten expensive. I mean, I don't know. You know, I haven't even gone to see them. The guy called me from the phone place and said, "Oh, do you want one of these new ones?" I'm like, you know, they're getting kind of creepy for me. You know, facial recognition. I don't know. Sometimes less is more. My refrigerator recently broke at my house, and the house was owned by people. It was their second home for some years, and so it looks really nice. It's kind of like a Sub-Zero model, but it's actually 20 years old. You would never know if you saw it. So when I found that out, I was like, I want to fix this sucker, because these new refrigerators have all these EMF things that are sending out pulse, you know, and you really want to be careful, guys. A lot of this technology is actually disrupting our field. And I saw this article that Nico put in our chat, and it says, for the cost of an iPhone, you can now buy a wind turbine that can power an entire house for a lifetime. And it made me think, where are our priorities? We're so worried about having the latest and greatest when we've got people like David Dubine, like a canary in the coal mine, saying, guys, we need to start preparing and we're all in this together. What if we all bought wind turbines and we powered our houses and started to take different approaches? Now, again, you know, how feasible is this quite yet? But I'm making a point that we've got to start thinking about sustainability and not in the control way, and about survival and being healthy by having your food and generating your own power, and not because we think that we're polluting the planet, which is the global warming farce, but because we are going to have a change in weather, and it's going to be colder, and it's going to be hard to generate these things.
And I think probably the future of electricity is more personal generation myself. They do have nuclear small devices now that don't have any waste. They're in the kind of beginning stages, but they say in a couple of years we'll be able to have a small unit for your house that you could use, endless supply.
I don't know about that. I don't really want any more nuclear device. I don't know enough about it.
Well, the real clean nuclear is a concept that I think could probably save a lot of. I mean, the new industry of nuclear is different than the old industry with these huge things, with all the waste and everything like that. But to your point, sun power, wind power, water power. I mean, there's so much power in water too. If you got anything that's water that's moving, you can make electricity with that very easily.
Just remember, the same control system that wants us to stay connected to the central grid.
Right.
You know, that makes the money on reselling the resources that produce electricity. That just made me realize something that David said. You know, you've got to understand, when you understand what the real climate risk is, you know, we're being told to stop the coal and all this coal burning and fossil fuels, when in fact, when we hit this cold period,
we're going to need that stuff.
We're going to need that stuff,
Yeah.
or else people are going to die, because they're not going to be warm. And
the trouble is there will be no way to distribute it. So, you know, like we always say, if we're producing our own food or get it locally, that's going to be much better than the other way, where we're shipping it all over the place. And I think the same with electricity. If we can do it local, and I don't mean the plant that's 100 miles north of us, I mean locally within our own neighborhood.
And I like what David was telling us, David Devine was saying, you know, the Chinese know about this stuff.
Yeah.
They've been tracking for thousands of years what happened when their dynasties burned out, which, by the way, guess when the dynasties burned out? When we entered grand solar minimums. So they're sitting here and they're preparing. There's Chinese central banks are buying gold and silver, folks. They're involved in Bitcoin. You hear that, you know, they're not going to publicize their move. It's the art of war.
Well, another
you know?
interesting thing that David, in one of his shows, he talks about, I don't know which one it is, but if you start listening to him, this may come up again. A lot of the monuments that they have in China and the places where they worship and do their thing is, they're all talking, all the symbolism is about the grand solar minimums and the warnings.
Oh, that would be interesting. Let's do a little show on that. Guys, we got to run. It was fun. We'll see you next week. Have a great, hope you're getting in the spirit.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Happy holidays and Merry
see you
Christmas
next
and all
week.
that. Take care. Bye-bye.
Basil Chapman will be hosting a full-day Master Trader class Friday, December 8th from 9 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. This live 7.5-hour online class will teach you the complete concepts of Basil's Chapman Wave trading methodology, along with a variety of indicators and charting patterns that Basil uses on a daily basis, including the concept of higher peaks and lower troughs, the importance of the peak D, buy and sell modes, sustaining rallies and declines, MACD, stochastic, moving averages, on-balance volume, and much more. Everyone that attends will also receive Basil's CD book introducing the Chapman Wave methodology, a $249 value, along with 1 month of his daily trading newsletter, The Opening Call, a $128 value. Basil will be using live charts where and when possible in the webinar to show the concepts of his trading methodology, which works on all time frames. For all the details and to reserve your spot today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.